Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we share with you all the latest updates of the stock markets, the sectors, the stocks that are buzzing in trade today, and what should be your approach to the markets, your investment strategy. All of that with an expert coming up right next. But let's first look at how the markets are trading at the beginning of this new week. Now, the markets have actually opened on a higher note despite the kind of mixed cues that we were getting across the globe. You can actually see the markets trading at the highest point of the day, and not just that, the Sensex definitely trading at all-time high, 62,617, 323 points up in trade. That's a 0.5% uptick that you can actually see, and the Nifty is also at a very close distance to touching its all-time high levels of 18,604. Remember, this level was seen back in 2021 in the month of October, and today might well be the day when you can actually see those levels. We're waiting up for that as well. When you see which are the factors that are supporting the markets overall, well, you can see some of the sectors that are supporting the sentiments, and that includes the Nifty Bank, that's up by 0.3% odd. You do have the PSU banks and the private banks still holding up and pushing the markets higher. The financial services doing well as well. It's the auto stocks that are rallying ahead in trade today. That's the one that's outperforming, and also the IT stocks. They have come back into flavor today. 0.7% of an uptick can actually be seen. What's not doing well is clearly the metals pack. There's a downtick of over 1% in today's trading session. Slight losses coming in on the pharma and the realty pack as well. And also, when you talk about the kind of top gainers that we are seeing on the markets right now, you do have Reliance Industries, the big heavyweight, up by almost 3%. That's a sharp move. 26.99, the move on the Reliance Industries stock as well. BPCL up by 3.5%. So the oil and gas stocks are rallying ahead with the lower crude oil prices. And Hero Motocorp, again, there's a price hike news there. You can see that counter up to 2.5% in trade. Asian Paints and Wipro, the other counters that are moving in tandem as well, among the top gainers on the index. On the losing side, of course, it's the metals pack that's been declining. So you have JSW Steel, Hindalco, Tata Steel, all forming the top losers of the Nifty pack. Apart from this, Coal India and HDFC Bank are also dragging the street as we speak. Let's welcome our guest for today. Avinnash Gorakshakar joins in from ProfitMart Securities. Thank you so much, sir, for taking the time out for this discussion. First up, your take on the markets. We are at a very close distance of looking at those all-time high levels on the Nifty. How are we looking as far as, record highs approach, but then what next is the trajectory that you see for the markets?
Yeah, I think, Sakshi, first of all, let me tell you, the markets have started rising largely because on expectations that inflation seems to be cooling off in the US, and I think we could see better CPI numbers in the coming weeks. Most importantly, the December 14 meeting of Fed is now going to be closely monitored, as now the earnings season is over and all attention is on macro numbers. So if at all, you do get a Fed interest rate hike number of 50 basis points, that is definitely going to please the markets. And I think flows have been pretty solid. Indian markets have been getting a significant amount of FI flows. So my sense is that, liquidity has been pretty good. And hopefully, selectively, there are many sectors like auto, capital goods, infrastructure, typically, even pharma companies. These are all looking interesting, considering the fact that commentaries from the managements have been pretty solid. So I think it's going to be a selective market, but net, I think we are going to see better days. Hopefully, if the Fed commentary is dovish, and we could see better upside in the near term.
Okay, so upside in the near term is expected given the macro factors right there. You did talk about some of the sectors that you're bullish on. We will speak individually about those sectors as we move along. But first up, let's also take a quick look at how the primary market space is doing. In fact, it's buzzing in trade this week as well because two IPOs are all set to open for subscription, and about 1,000 crore rupees worth of funds could actually be raised via these primary issues. The IPO of Dharmaj Crop Guard has actually opened for subscription in today's trading session. So that's something that we are also looking at. In fact, the public issue has opened already in today's trading session. It's a 3-day issue, will conclude on Wednesday, November 30th. The price band has been fixed between 216 to 237 rupees per equity share. Also, the IPO consists of both a fresh issue, which is worth 216 crores, and an offer for sale, which is equivalent of 14.8 lakh equity shares by the existing shareholders. Now, at the upper end of the price band, the company, which is an Ahmedabad-based company, could actually fetch about 251 crore rupees. Let's look at that, and also Uniparts India, that will be making its debut on the street very soon, opening for subscription on the 30th of November. It's looking to mobilize about 836 crore rupees via the issue. and the price band has been fixed between 548 to 577 rupees per equity share. So two IPOs there. Let's talk one by one first. Dharmaj first, which is an agriculture-based company. We do see it's a variety of products that the company looks at with the customers across domestic as well as international markets as well. The operations look relatively small when you compare with the peers, but the revenues and the EBITDA margins, they are still on the higher side. So first up, let's talk about Dharmaj. Your thoughts on the company profile, the kind of growth outlook that the company may be looking at, the financials, and overall, how does the company look to you?
Yeah, I think Sakshi, as far as the Dharmaj is concerned, we believe that this is a small agrochemical players, but it has got a wide presence across the entire value chain and includes many products like insecticides, fungicides, herbicides. And I think if you look at the overall numbers, especially the EBITDA margins, these are definitely quite well positioned. Most importantly, they have a very good presence across 17 to 18 states. They have a large export presence also. So I think the agri sector theme looks pretty interesting, and I think valuations seem to be quite reasonable. So investors can look at this company if they have a 1 to 2 year view. I think normally, these kind of companies take some time to gain popularity, but hopefully, if the numbers are good and data points going forward appear to be solid, then I think there could be some good amount of risk reward in this issue.
Okay, understood that. Let's also talk about Uniparts India then, which makes and supplies components for the tractors and construction machinery as well. We do know that the company, large revenues of the company really come from the exports as well. So it has an international exposure. Your thoughts on Uniparts, which is an allied company to the agri and the construction space, whether this also gives any opportunity for all the investors to look at short-term or long-term gains?
I think Sakshi, one difference in the Uniparts IPO is that it's an entirely OFS issue, unlike Dharmaj, which is a mix of fresh as well as OFS.
Yeah.
Most importantly, almost 80% of the sales come from US and Europe. And I think you rightly pointed out that construction, tractors, off-road vehicles, these are the customer segments which company caters. They are into a high value addition kind of product. That is why EBITDA margins are pretty attractive of 22-23%. But my sense is, see, I think companies which are into exports, especially to US and Europe, I think need to be carefully monitored. So I would believe that, this is an IPO which possibly investors could give a miss, because probably in the next 6 to 8 months, Europe and US is going to see a lot of headwinds, and that could possibly have a kind of bearing on the company's future. So I think it's better to wait and watch and take, a position possibly after the stock gets listed. Company is good, product is good, but I think the headwinds in the near term look to be pretty challenging.
Sure. Let's also listen to the management where he talked about the kind of expansion plans that the company will have post the IPO and the listing, and what are they really looking to do as far as the cash flows are concerned of the business. Let's listen to the top management who spoke to us a little while earlier.
It is a complete OFS because the company itself is very cash rich. In fact, and doesn't need any fresh money for itself. Free cash of 7%. This is taking care of after taking care of capex and working capital requirements. So, okay. Having said that, our debt, which was actually 250 crores 4 years ago, is on 31st March was only 100 crores, and it is close to 70 crores. So the company doesn't need fresh money. We have 5 manufacturing locations in India. One in 2 in Noida and 2 in Ludhiana, and we actually have a 6th one in USA. In addition to that, we have 3 warehouses. 2 of them are in USA and 1 is in Germany. And as we speak, our next expansion factory is coming up in Ludhiana. We have gone without investing in land and building. We've taken a place on lease, and this will be our expansion. Used for our expansion for the next 2 years as well.
Okay, so that was Mr. Gurdeep Soni, the Chairman and Managing Director of Uniparts, talking about the expansion plans and the new facility in Ludhiana coming up in soon. Also, he had told us that Mr. Gorakshakar, he spoke to us and he said that, the China Plus One theme has been giving them enough benefits. And that's what he expects to really leverage on going forward as well, as far as the business opportunities are concerned. Your thoughts on that? Is that something that could work well for the company, especially those companies that can emerge as alternative to as far as the supplies of agri and construction equipments are concerned worldwide?
Yeah, I think Sakshi, the China one plus factor would definitely work in favor of Uniparts, and I think they have a very large presence in both the US and the European markets.
Sure. All right. I think there is some audio glitch. We'll try and fix that. Yeah. Okay, so we'll connect again to Mr. Gorakshakar and see if we can connect back with him. Meanwhile, we'll just go across to my colleague Tanya Aneja, who's been standing by with a list of all those stocks that are in news and are buzzing in trade today so that you can also keep them on your radar. Tanya, take it away.
Absolutely, Sakshi. So first of all, shares of Vatek Wabag were up over 5% today after the company announced that it has signed an agreement with Asian Development Bank for raising 200 crore rupees through unlisted non-convertible debentures. Then shares of Hero Motocorp as well, as you rightly pointed out, they were also up to the tune of 4% today after the company said that it will raise the prices of its motorcycles and scooters by up to 1500 rupees with effect from 1st of December 2022 due to inflationary cost pressures. The scrip also gained ahead of its November auto sales data, and it is the company is likely to report a double-digit volume growth. Shares of Apollo tires were also in focus. They were up over 5% in early trade today. So basically, the brokerage firm UBS expects the stock to hit 355 rupees in a year. So if you compare it with the current market price, current share price, it has an upside potential of 21%. Then shares of Shriram Properties Limited were also up over 5% after the company announced that it has completed the acquisition of 100% of the equity in Suvilas Realities Private Limited. Paytm continues to be in focus. The stock was down over 4% in early trade. However, it has recovered and it is trading in the green as we speak. So RBI has stopped onboarding of online merchants by Paytm payment services. However, the company said that it will not have any material impact on its business. Talking about some other stocks, we have Reliance Industries, Asian Paints, Wipro. These shares were among the top gainers. And on the flip side, we have Tata Steel, Hindalco, HDFC Twins that were among the top losers. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for sharing with us all those list of stocks that are buzzing in action. We do have Mr. Gorakshakar back with us. Mr. Gorakshakar, you were talking about the kind of movement, that you expect in the auto space going forward. Even in today's trading session, there is a, movement on the top. We have some news flow that Hero Motocorp is, raising its prices once again, fourth time this time from 1st of December. I wanted to understand on a macro perspective, this industry has really gone through a lot over the last 2 or 3 odd years. We've been looking at some bright spots, but are they sustainable, or are companies still, looking at cutting down inflationary costs just via the price hikes even going forward? Can this also mean the other companies will also join the fray? And how should investors really look at this space now?
Yeah, I think within the two-wheeler space, Sakshi, my sense is that both Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto look extremely attractive, considering the fact that this sector has underperformed. If you look at both the passenger car as well as the commercial vehicle sector, and I think after a very long time, there have been some green shoots which possibly could be visible in the festival quarter, that is October to December. Most importantly, we believe that in the month of January, we could see a lot of new product launches by both Hero MotoCorp as well as by Bajaj Auto, and that is definitely going to create a lot of visibility and vibrance in the two-wheeler market. This could be a good time to accumulate something which is contra to the market theory, and I think where valuations are in favor of the investors. Commercial vehicles and passenger car companies like Mahindra, Maruti are definitely looking good, but valuations are pricey. So I think
Okay.
two-wheelers give a good entry point for investors to make a recent kind of risk reward and a alpha in the coming, say, 8 to 12 months. So in that perspective, Hero MotoCorp could be observed very aggressively because they have a large rural India reach, and hopefully rural India demand is expected to pick up in the second half of 22-23.
Okay, so there could be some buying opportunities for you in the auto space amidst the current, lower valuations that you could take benefit of. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Gorakshakar, for being with us and sharing your insights on the markets and overall in the different segments and stocks as well, and also in the primary market space. We'll also look at how the markets are just looking at this point in time, and then we'll wind up the show, running out of time completely. But at this point in time, the markets are doing well. The Sensex still holding up about 316 odd points, 62,611. Slightly off the high point of the day. But if you still see the 18,586 mark on the Nifty, 70 points of a gain right there, still an attempt to really approach towards those all-time high levels. We'll keep an eye out on those levels as well. Well, today might be the day when you can see those all-time highs yet again after a year. So we'll wind up this show. Thank you very much for tuning in for now, but do stay tuned on to Business Today TV for a whole lot more information on the business world as well as from the stock markets as well. Thank you very much for tuning in for now.
Well, hello, a very warm welcome to Business Today TV. I am Chetan Bhutani. Well, I am again on the road to cover Gujarat elections from the industrial, economy and the business point of view. And my coverage for the Gujarat elections will be incomplete if I don't